Can the Notre Dame defense slow down the juggernaut that is the Ohio State offense? That is the question you are going to be hearing a lot of people ask in the build-up to the CFP title game. The other question, the other term, the other phrase that you're going to hear a lot, cover one defense, man-to-man defense. That's what the Irish like to play. But will they be able to play that against Ohio State? What did we see Texas do? Texas played cover two. What's cover two? 1, 2 safeties deep. This is actually the look Notre Dame is giving Georgia on the first passing play of the Sugar Bowl, but they're not going to actually play cover two. They're just going to show cover two, and then they're going to morph back into their traditional cover one safety look. I think you're going to see a lot of disguises like this for Notre Dame against Ohio State. That is how you hopefully get a bit of an edge in this game, because let's be honest, if Notre Dame just plays man-to-man straight up on the outside, most likely their corners are going to lose one-on-one against Ohio State's very talented receivers. But if Notre Dame can disguise their coverages, throw off Will Howard a little bit, get him into the wrong play, into the wrong read, well, that's how Notre Dame can hang around in this game. And let's be honest, when you're over a touchdown favorite, if Notre Dame makes a couple of plays defensively, steals a possession, turnover, throws Will Howard off of his game, throws this Ohio State offense off their game, that's the recipe for an upset. All right, first passing play of the Sugar Bowl. Georgia is trying to run a very simple vertical concept with these two wide receivers on the bottom of the screen. Your slot guy is going to run a deep post. Your outside receiver is going to run the deep vertical. Now, against a cover two safety look, if these two safeties drop, well, then this pocket of space is going to be available. However, that is not what Notre Dame is going to do. At the snap, number 8, Schuler, is going to rotate into the middle. They call him a robber. Then Xavier Watts, your free safety, fifth-year senior, consensus All-American, one of the best players in the country. He is going to drop into a traditional deep safety look and show you cover one with man-to-man coverage underneath. So let's watch this play out at the snap. I'm surprised Gunnar Stockton didn't run motion here to confirm the coverage. There at the snap, you can start to see Schuler rotate into the middle, Watts back deep. So if I'm the quarterback here and I see this safety in the middle of the field hunting this slot deep post, well, then I know I've got man-to-man coverage on the outside. In this particular case, it's Christian Gray, a 6-foot corner, going up against Dylan Bell, a 6'1" receiver, who's got about 20 pounds on him. Probably not a true 50-50 ball. I would say it's a little more 60-40 slanted towards Georgia with an inch and 20 pounds. The problem is, in Ohio State's matchup, this is probably going to be Carnell Tate, who is 6'3", going up against Christian Gray, 6 foot. This is probably going to be the solo receiver at the top is probably going to be Jeremiah Smith, the X receiver. So if I'm Will Howard and I see one safety deep middle and I've got a deep slant, deep post going over the middle right here, and I know I've got one-on-one coverage on the outside, and my receiver has a 3-inch height advantage on the corner, you can guess where the ball's going. In this case, Gunnar Stockton actually makes the right read, and he throws the outside vertical. Christian Gray gets a little grabby, commits a defensive pass interference, and it sets up Georgia pretty nicely. They weren't able to score on this drive, but first passing play of the game, you're essentially able to get an explosive play by forcing a penalty. Again, I'm not sure why Gunnar Stockton didn't run any motion at all, even the back, to confirm the man coverage. But he makes the right read. Christian Gray gets a little grabby, and it's a 15-yarder for Georgia. We'll see how the refs call the game because, let's be honest, Notre Dame was not getting those calls against them in the Orange Bowl. Actually, Notre Dame came out in a little zone against Penn State in that game, but probably once they realized that Penn State receivers can't catch the broadside of a barn and Drew Aller has no chance of getting it to them, well, that's when they went back to their man-to-man. They played Tyler Warren man-to-man all night. If they're playing Tyler Warren man-to-man, I don't see why they're not going to have any issues or why they're not going to have any concerns about putting their corners on an island against Tate and Smith. All right, so here you go. Rose Bowl, same route concept. Now you got to flip it because the ball's on the near hash. So on the far side of the field, there's Tate on the outside. There's Egbuka in the slot. There's Jeremiah Smith at the bottom of the screen. Same route concept. Tate on the outside is going to run the deep vertical. Slot guy Egbuka is going to run the post. Here's the difference. You just saw that concept against Notre Dame's cover 1. Now you're going to see it against Oregon's cover 2. Cover 2, 2 safeties deep, drop. The deep pocket of space available to you will be in the middle of the field. Will Howard knows it. Will Howard sees it. And because Oregon doesn't disguise their coverages, remember at the snap, Notre Dame was showing you the same look. Notre Dame was showing you that same 2 safety look that Oregon is showing you a little bit later. But Oregon didn't disguise it. Oregon stayed in their 2 safety look. And what's going to happen? Will Howard's going to throw an absolute dime to Emeka Egbuka for a touchdown because that deep pocket middle was wide open. Will Howard was able to identify cover 2 defense. He knew that he had this pocket of space available to him, and he took it. And it was a dime of a throw. Now, he's going to have to make throws like that in tight windows because Notre Dame's defense is very well disciplined. They are very attuned to all of the things happening around him, and it will be very interesting to see how Al Golden plays it. My guess is they come out in looks like these, where they show you cover 2 and then morph back to cover 1. And they try to confuse Will Howard to try to get him to make the wrong read. In this particular case, I think Gunnar Stockton knew he was going to throw this vertical the whole time. But Will Howard, who has a little bit more freedom at the line of scrimmage, maybe tries to get into and out of plays based off of what the Notre Dame defense is giving him. I think Notre Dame starts in a little bit of zone too, kind of like they did against Penn State. I think they play a little bit more zone early in the game and pray that they can hold up in the run. The difference is Texas, who ran a lot of cover 2 zone, has a much better front 7, was able to hold up in the running game. Notre Dame's front 7 is a little bit undersized. So I'm worried that if they play cover 2, they're going to get run on all night. Henderson and Judkins will be big in the prop market in that particular case. If they play cover 1, that's where I think Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate would be the guys you bet on, either for touchdowns or over their yards receiving. So again, these are the chess matches, the cat and mouse games that Al Golden is going to play with Chip Kelly all night long, and how Will Howard identifies and diagnoses the Notre Dame defense, whether or not they're playing cover 2, or do they morph into the cover 1 zone, the cover 1 man look, and make it a lot harder for Ohio State to run the football. Fascinating stuff. My guess is we see a lot of disguises from Al Golden. That's the only way his defense is going to be able to hang with the Buckeyes in the CFP title game.